I like the dancing here. I like the style of dancing. This song, vocally, like her vocals are fantastic in this song. They compress very, very well. The vocal layering is very, very good, which I was 100% expecting. Great day to play. Great day to play.
Teeth in the tongue, tongue in the lips. Teeth in the tongue, tongue in the lips.
My sexy GidKidDad.
Why does that have to be sexy?
Believe it, because that's what he does. He has a sexy jutsu.
Oh, does he?
In there, yeah, it's called. Yeah,
that should be illegal.
It's got harem jutsu or something like that.
That should be illegal.
Why?
Because like in Harry Potter, like the love spell's illegal. You know?
Could you imagine? Like I could just be like this, and there'd just be like 100 like just hot me's, just like hanging out.
I couldn't imagine that. I don't want to imagine that.
You know what would happen if that were to happen? It would 100% be a great day to play, everybody. Welcome on into the channel.
Yeah.
Did you like that transition?
Yeah, that was good.
That's good.
That's good.
Well, it's your first time here. You were joining us. Thank you for being here with us today. You're loved, appreciated, always welcome in this channel. And you are enough. Today, we are going to be doing an original now. This is Sarah Geronimo. She's the one that did Creep. Remember, and she was like singing, even though it wasn't humanly possible to sing in the angles and stuff that she was at. So this is her song. This is Tala, and it is the official music video. If you say video, it makes it sound like
French.
No, like just like it's
video.
Yeah, like aluminium. You know, it sounds
that's how
smart.
I say it. Aluminium.
It sounds smart.
Yeah.
Smart. Petrol instead of gas.
Petrol.
You know.
Vocabulary.
Anyway, color, but with a U.
Allure. Allure.
I hope you guys are going to enjoy this. Please, if you haven't already, like, subscribe to the notification bell, follow along with our journey. Check out our live stream Saturdays, noon Central Time. And you can check out a brand new single out now on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and all the other places that music exists. But without further ado, let's go. That Foley.
That's definitely Foley.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Masyadong mabilis ang pagyanig ng puso ko para sa puso mo. Siguro nga ako ay makulit, ayaw makinig sa takbo ng isip. Hindi ko maipilit, tila ko'y nakalutang nasa langit, ngunit nalulunod sa iyong mga ngiti. At kung hanggang dito lang talaga tayo, hindi pa babayaan ang daan, di na tatapiling ka.
Dude, this is a very well put together song.
Yeah, it's this feels like very, very what's the word I'm looking for? It feels very almost like big like 2000s pop to me. Like something like what Christina Aguilera or somebody like that would do. Like it's very like high end, well put together. There are a couple of spaces, I don't know if it's my headphones or not, where like with the drums at the beginning when those were coming in, that it kind of like her voice really dipped. Did you notice that there?
Yeah.
But then like in the chorus, it felt like it was brought back collectively. So maybe that was a choice, because I was like, oh, well, it's just they're not focusing on her vocals. But in the chorus, it feels like they're completely there. So maybe it was just a choice.
So what a producer I used to do a lot of work with got this from doing EDM music.
Okay.
Where, because in EDM music, the vocal isn't like the
focus.
The focus.
Yeah.
So what you do is you sidechain compress the vocal to the kick drum in any of the low end.
Yeah.
So it dips down and no one really cares because it's still there. So they might have done that in this just stylistically for the beginning of that.
Well, and that's what I was saying, because if the chorus hadn't come in and her voices would have been in front in the chorus, I would have said, oh, it was a mistake.
Right.
But because the vocals came in really, really nice in the chorus, I was like, okay, that was intentional.
Yeah,
right?
maybe they just wanted the drums to
really emphasize, like that snare coming in was definitely like an emphasis point. So very, very cool, man. Like, I like this. This is very reminiscent to me, though, and I think that's why it feels so good. It's like very new elements with also some of those really, really great.
It does feel
2000s
like,
vocals.
The second, like when it started, I was like, oh, okay,
yeah.
Right. And I'm starting. It's really funny because we did K-pop for like 2 years, and we're still doing K-pop. But for some reason, with Tagalog,
Filipino,
Tagalog?
whatever,
I'm starting to recognize a bunch of words.
Yeah.
Not what they mean, but I'm like, oh, I know that one.
You're actually hearing it.
Yeah.
I think that phonetically, though, like, again, it's still an English-based, not an English-based, a Roman-based language in terms of, like, you don't need to Romanization the words. They still type out phonetically in characters that we understand. Right. So I think that it is a little bit different that way, because you can also read it and you can tell phonetically what it is, as opposed to needing to do like a romanization, which they do in a lot of like the K-pop stuff. They'll actually type out like a romanization of it so you know how to pronounce it, but that's not necessarily the character. Right. If that makes sense. And that probably has something to do with it.
Honestly, it's probably from the work we've been doing.
Yeah, because we're also spending a lot of time with the music on repeat over and over and over again, where it's a little easier to understand when you're listening to it that much and in that much depth, you know? Very, very cool.
I'm hoping that our YouTube skipped.
No.
No, that was an intentional,
like offbeat.
Yeah, like random.
Like it was like
snare
a beat.
drum?
It was like a beat skip almost. Like it felt like the whole thing almost like skipped.
But like
a beat there.
Not like a beat, like a 16th note.
Yeah.
Like interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's so
maybe
weird.
So I think it's the drums that skipped something, but I think they were setting up a late drop for the kick drum.
Okay.
So because I think the kick drum doesn't come in until let's try it again. I don't know.
Just a choice, man.
Yeah.
That one was slightly off too.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's just for like a tension aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because
it's giving me a lot of tension.
Yeah, because that drop was also like right there was just slightly, and it was like it wasn't fully a beat.
Right.
It was like almost like a lead-in, like how you'd almost do like a lead-in note on like a bass to the next bar. It's almost like a lead-in drop.
Right.
To
drums,
like the
though.
next. Yeah. It's very, very, very interesting.
Ngunit maaari bang kahit na pansamantala lang, ikaw muna'y maging akin. Tila ko'y nakalutang nasa langit, ngunit nalulunod sa iyong mga ngiti. At kung hanggang dito lang talaga tayo, hindi pababayaan ang daan dinadadapiling ka. Kung umabot tayo hanggang dulo, kapitan ng mahigpit, aabutin natin ang mga tala.
I like the dancing here. I
Yeah.
like the style of dancing. This song vocally like her vocals are fantastic in this song. They compress very, very well. The vocal layering is very, very good, which I was 100% expecting because we've seen what she can do live. Like I was 100% expecting that. But this being more of like not like the traditional kind of like OPM song. This is more of like gets into that PPop category without having like the whole group and everything, but definitely more of like a true kind of new age pop song. Yeah. Is very well mixed. Like it's very like in terms of the vocals being out in front. There's some decisions that are happening in the background that like I'm confused about. Not necessarily that it's good or bad. It's just choices, right? But in terms of the vocals are very, very well compressed up front. The vocal layering is very, very good. Yeah. And I don't know that I was necessarily expecting that from like a solo art. We haven't, to be fair, we haven't done any much original solo artist music. You know, we've seen a couple on the Wish Bus, but that's about it. Yeah. So
it is good. There's if you listen, so it's not really a big deal anymore because we've kind of gotten away from caring about it in music in general, but there's a lot of, you can hear her breaths. Yeah. Which is something that they were trying to cut out for years and years and years. And now if you listen to like modern hip hop, it doesn't matter.
It's and big ones. Like it's almost like they leave it in there for emphasis where like, you know, there's time. I was just here listening to a song the other day, and I was like, why wouldn't they debreath that? Right. Like there was one moment where it was like, like it was just so loud. And but yeah, it's not really a huge deal.
De-essing isn't a huge deal anymore either. Yeah, it's super weird. Like 3 years ago, it was like get all the breaths out, or at least make them sound like they're just breathing regular, right? And then also de-ess everything. And now it's like, nah. Just throw on a compress the hell out of it, and let's go.
And you can even hear in some of it when it gets that compressed, right? We listen to compression. If you solo it, and you can still hear some of that noise, in the background because you can't get all of it out when it's that heavily compressed, or they're in not like a great space or something like that. Sometimes I've even heard that in some of these songs. You know, it doesn't matter because the backing covers up so much of it now with the big backings that we do, but. Yeah, it's funny just in a couple of years of how much of a difference that makes. Yeah, dude, it's just like, Like it it's like God, I can't think of what rap song it is right now, but there's one where there's a line and he talks about like the record skipping a beat, and then the record skips like that. It feels like a record. Right. It feels like like when a record accidentally just for a second just goes off and
it doesn't take me out of it though.
No. Yeah. No, but it's like these are the cool things though about like, you know, these are the times where I'm like, I want to meet with that person and be like, why? Yeah. Like, what was the rationale and where did you? Because somebody had influence for that, right? Right. Like it wasn't just like I want to try this here. Like somebody heard something at one point that was really, really cool, and we're like, hey, maybe we can try this element in this song because that's how music works. Yeah. And like these are the points where I'm just like, I want to sit down and like. Know why? Like, where did the inspiration come from?
And you know, it's funny because music producers come in all shapes and sizes. Yeah. So there are very like analytical music producers who are very nerdy with it, and they're very whatever. And then there's guys like what Benny Blanco seems to be, where he's like, yeah, it sounds good. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds awesome. Let's try this. Oh, that's weird. You know what I mean? Like, and not saying that he's stupid or anything. Just like he seems very chill about the whole process, and that's why I like music, because it's like you don't know what you're gonna get.
Well, and then you have producers that don't actually do any of the physical part of production, right? Yeah. You think of like the Rick Rubins of the world, who literally his job is to sit in a room and tell people whether it sounds good or not, and come up with ideas. Like people don't realize that there's quite a few production companies where. The lead producers in their company is not the person that's engineering any of it. Yeah. He's sitting with somebody who knows how to run the system and basically like, that sounds like garbage, try this. Right. Oh, that sounds really cool. And like they don't even have the skills to do a lot of that, but they have the ear for it. Right. And so yes, it really can be very, very different.
He's
created some of the biggest albums of all time. Yeah. And like has created some of the biggest sounds that have influenced the next generation of albums of all time. You know,
he worked with the Chili Peppers. He's worked with Jay-Z. He's worked with Eminem. He's worked with like some of the biggest tastemakers in the industry, and he doesn't even like how cool.
Yeah.
How cool.
Man, very interesting.
I like that hair.
There it is. Now it's tying it in.
Okay, so whoever produced it is an EDM producer.
Yeah.
Like that's what they do normally. And then they were asked to do this, and because some of that sound design was pretty cool.
100%. And the other thing, it's very, very interesting because she's dancing to it, right?
Right.
So then you also have to line up the fact that there is those skips in the dance.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's the craziest part is like, it's not just you're dancing or you're singing, or in that part you weren't singing, but like you're now moving to a beat and you got to be like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, ah! All right, now we'll go back.
It gives a whole new meaning to your body as an instrument.
Yeah.
You know?
Very, very cool sound design though. And she can move.
Yeah.
She can move, man. Very like, I don't know if this was, I don't know enough about her background, but this it feels very like islandy, you know, especially with like the skirt, right? The hula skirt and like around the ankles. Like this is very kind of almost like Hawaiian of what we would see on like Hawaiian Beach, the type of dancing she's doing. I don't know if she's trying to emulate this or maybe her background is
partially
in this. I don't know. I'm sure that you guys could tell us in the comments down below, but it's not something that I've ever seen in a video though.
Right.
Like I've never seen that focus. So that's really, really cool to see here. You like the comments of people like telling us
it'll be like Sarah was born in 1975.
Yeah. And it always starts like sorry for the long one, and then if you hit like you see the little blurb, and then you hit more, and it's just like this long on the page because they give you like the entire background.
And then you read it, remember all of it, and say it on the next stream. And I forgot all of it because I can't remember.
I remember half of it correctly, and then I get some of them get lost in translation. And then I go, the next stream.
Really? And I didn't read it.
Very cool.
Sarah Geronimo. I hope you loved my latest music video. For more, subscribe, follow, and like Viva Records. Thank you.
Will do.
Man, wild. I'm like sitting here and I'm thinking about like being the singer on that, right? Like, I don't know how you would do it without doing it in sections. You know what I mean? Like, think about performing that song live and memorizing like those offbeats. Right? Because you're so like we're so ingrained because we are musicians, right? We've done music for a very long time. Where like in your head, you're just counting, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, whatever it is. Might be 3, 4, whatever. But like you're like, I feel like I constantly have this internal metronome going, regardless. And so that's where it's more jarring. But I think about the live production of that, or like recording in the studios of like needing to be conscious
of that. Yeah.
Of that there, because if you're in a live performance and you're just doing that, like you're gonna be off slightly.
Right.
You know.
The very last one, I'm sure it'll show on my face.
I saw your eyes closed. Yeah.
I just realized that. So the first time you skipped it, right? Then the entire song after that.
Yeah.
Is a 16th note back on the timeline.
Well, and every time he does it, it is.
And then every time he does it, it is.
Yeah.
So every time after that, tuning the vocals. Every time after that, making sure your drums are in line. You could at any point forget that you're a 16th note off, and then be like, oh, I gotta quantize this.
And now you're just yep. And then you gotta go back and do it.
And like just the thought of every time that happens, you being just pushed back like that. Oh,
well, it's all manual at that point in time, right? You have to do everything manually.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Yuck.
But
yuck.
And when he says, for those of you, because sometimes we forget, when he says quantize, so when you're working in one of these programs, they have some nifty tools now that you get to use, whether it be for timing, whether it be for pitch, that you can literally highlight all of them. And for the most part, if you use the quantize feature, it'll automatically shift everything basically as much to that line as you want to. So if you're doing a drums and it's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4, but maybe I was 1, 2, 3, 4 and like slightly off,
right?
It'll move everything so you don't have to go and do it manually because not everything's
drummer
perfect.
Play it again.
Right. So that's what quantizing is, and it's kind of like an automated way of doing it. So what he's saying is if it's off though on those beats, now it's completely like you could go for section to section, but you have to keep all of those things in mind, and it's just very interesting.
I'm trying to think of a way that would make that easier. Anyway, I'll figure it out later.
You could do it by section.
You could actually edit the timeline, like the entire timeline.
Yeah,
for each part.
in each one. Yeah.
Even so,
but it's still way more work.
Way more work.
Way more work.
Which hands up to the producer who did that, because
and
you tortured yourself.
And for her, you know.
Yeah, for being able to do that.
Awesome job. Awesome singing, awesome vocals, awesome dancing. She's got the Shakira hips.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's always nice to see.
Stuck in my head.
Yeah, so awesome. Well, what were your guys' thoughts are? Please let us know in the comments below. We do love to read them. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow along with our journey. Check out our live stream Saturdays, noon Central Time. And you can check out our brand new single, My Light. It's out now. Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all the other places the music exists. Before we go, though, we do have a secret code to give you today.
I hope popcorn's in there somewhere.
You're gonna do popcorn?
Mm-hmm.
Cow.
Popcorn cow.
Popcorn cow, because the cow makes butter for the popcorn.
True.
Popcorn.
True. And if there's not a popcorn bucket, then just corn will do.
Corn cow.
Corn cow.
Anyway, guys, if nobody told you that they love you today, please do not forget that we love you. You're appreciated, always welcome here in this channel, and you are enough. And last but certainly not least,
it was a great day to play.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.